Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Family Empire Houston, Season 1, Episode 7.
Listen, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, and watch the review. It's a good show, and people are not watching the review. Is it us?
I don't think people are watching the show, but it's a good show.
Is it us? Is it Blair? Listen here, I straight can do like a little private one for y'all if it's Blair, okay?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this.
Okay. So we are at the crawfish boil with the family at the house, at Misha's house. And Monet is saying that her mom wanted her husband to handle it.
Hey, Monet, you wasn't born. Shut up.
Joy says, well, how you know he wasn't going to do it? Quita says in the confessional, he had 7 years. Someone else had to go to get her. He wasn't about to handle his business in getting his child.
Facts.
Jackie says, to everyone that he had a chance. He never went. Monet says in the confessional that they should have respected her mom's and dad's wishes, and she will always be on her mom's side.
Hey, Monet, I said you're the youngest one. Shut up.
And Aunt Nikki says that he wasn't going to do it because he wanted to keep peace in his house. Kesha isn't shocked to learn that Joy didn't want her around. Yeah. And Nicole says, we're not going to be disrespectful to one another. I mean, Aunt Jackie started spilling her water while she was talking, getting upset. People's voices started to raise. And Monet was, I guess, talking to Aunt Jackie. Quita felt like she was disrespecting her mom. So it was a whole lot of hollering and a whole lot going on to the point where Kesha had to tell everybody to shut the F up.
Meanwhile, Bubba just chilling.
And Aunt Jackie's talking about this is why she didn't want to have this conversation. She didn't want to have this meeting because she knew it was going to go like this. And Nicole tells him, look, we were all children and, talking to Kesha, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Well, Bubba gets joined into the conversation because Aunt Cheryl goes to talk to her and he's like, what's everybody talking about? And she's like, they're talking about you and you having 2 women pregnant at the same time. And Bubba was like, look, like y'all didn't have any right to go get her, talking about Kesha, and his wife doesn't have to accept her because that's not her child. And he says to Aunt Cheryl, you don't have kids. Basically, you can't relate. You don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you should have had kids. That gets Aunt Cheryl upset.
Okay.
So Kesha says, you wasn't taking care of your business. And her dad tells her, look, I'm 74 years old. You can't tell me nothing. Joy comes in telling everybody to shut up. So Nicole says to everybody, yelling, look, Kesha is part of our family. She's not going anywhere. And Grandpa would not want this. She's our family and she's going to be here no matter what. So everybody comes together in prayer and they end the night.
What are your thoughts?
I'm so tired when people defend poor choices and bad behavior and they take it as them taking up for their parents or whoever is in the wrong. You can love, care, respect your parent and still think that this was an effed up decision. You can separate the two. For Monet to talking about she's always going to be on her mom's side, you could be on your mom's side but also be like, it is kind of effed up how my mom didn't want Kesha in our lives and I'm happy Kesha's in our lives. I wish that somebody would have at least validated Kesha's feelings. And I get Nicole's over here trying to play middleman and also defending Kesha in the process. But it would be nice to hear, one of her sisters verbalize that I'm happy that you're in our life. And I think it's messed up that our parents didn't want us to know you. That would have been nice to hear. They really would have. But I appreciate her aunts having her back and, basically saying that, we weren't going to let her go out without knowing us. Bubba had all the time in the world and he chose not to get her. Even to the point till this day in this episode where he's talking about they should have minded their business and not picked her up. So you would have been fine not knowing her to her face, telling her right now during this conversation, during this like hoopla of all this chaos. He's still saying that y'all should have never brought her around while she's sitting up here in your face as a 40-something-year-old grown woman. That is hurtful and that is awful. So, I mean, I guess my biggest takeaway was I did appreciate Nicole, saying that Kesha's around, we love her, she's our family and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But it would be nice for them to acknowledge that their parents were wrong for wanting to keep her away.
Yeah. What is her name? Monet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monet. Let's start with her first. I said it 2 times. I'm going to say it a 3rd time. Shut up. You're one of the loudest voices in the room. Why? You wasn't even born. You wasn't even a thought. You get what I'm saying? Basically, you are, what's the word? You are protecting and representing a story that was handed down to you. You wasn't even there. So you don't even know the details. You don't even know what's been going on. So Monet, your word literally means negative nothing. You get what I'm saying? I think Nicole needed to see it from her perspective, because one thing that she said, and I don't think she meant it as offensive, or rather to be offensive, was basically like how she was Kesha's the side baby, or basically how Kesha did not have a better life than being in the house with Bubba and Joy.
Yes.
Enjoying them. And I think Nicole needed to see basically what Kesha felt. Because Kesha really couldn't describe it, because when it's a feeling, you kind of like don't have the proof of the feeling. You just feel like I just don't feel accepted.
Right.
It goes beyond being asked to get out the picture. It goes beyond your father not coming. Even Kesha said, I straight would have accepted a side dad, like if he would came over, sneaked and been a dad. But it needed to come out of people's mouths for Nicole to actually see, oh, okay, Kesha, I know what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. Now I understand what you mean when you say you're not really part of the family, and why you feel that way. It's because my mama basically was cool with never you being part of the family, to the point where she did not even want her over her sister-in-law house. You get what I'm saying? This wasn't a situation the way Kesha was being brought over and dropped off at her father's house. It was at the aunt's house, so she could play with the cousins and things like that. So it's not even a situation to where someone can say with a straight face, oh no, Bubba would have went over and did something. They should have let Bubba be a man and do it. He wasn't going to do it.
No.
It's been 7 years, right?
He even says to this day, they shouldn't have brought her around. I don't even know why they got in my business. He still to this day would not have done that.
Yeah, but my thing is, we can't really get upset at Bubba, because he's 74 years old. He's stubborn. He made his lot in life, and getting mad at him, you just gonna be yelling at a wall, basically. Right? To him, he's like, hey, I pay child support. So to him, his whole ideal of being a father, of being a good father at that, is completely a new world to him. You know what I mean? So, but my whole point is, why are y'all yelling at each other? At least yell at him. He's literally in the other room, and y'all yelling at each other, and y'all yelling at Joy and things like that. Joy, you already showed yourself and showed where you stood. I think, truth be told, I believe that Bubba wasn't going to do it, because Joy basically also didn't encourage him to do it either. Because basically, the fact that Joy stayed with him, guess what? We're going to leave everything in the past, even your responsibilities of Kesha. So I'm just like, this is what happens when, for one, everybody is in the argument. Everybody have their opinions. You got the youngest one and the loudest one that don't know nothing about nothing. This is what happened when people don't take accountability. Everybody yelling, and then at the end of it, we gotta pray all mad at each other. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
So it's the next day. Aunt Jackie is hurting for Kesha.
Yeah.
Nicole says that seeing Aunt Jackie break down was hard for her. The intent of bringing this up was not for this chaos to happen, and she doesn't want anyone to be upset. Not her mom, not her dad, not Kesha, nobody.
Yeah.
But Kesha knows that she has to forgive them, and she is pretty much back to her normal self. So Nicole and her family are out riding bikes. She fills Larry in on how everything went at the house. Apparently, Larry left, I guess, like went to bed. And Nicole was saying that it would have been nice to have my husband there as support, somebody there to console me. So, her daughter picks up some flowers to give to her, so the mom feels better. But I mean, clearly, even in this small scene, you can just kind of see how Nicole isn't feeling the love and support from her husband, and he seems to just detach from situations and issues that he doesn't want to have part of, which Nicole said, I can see why you wouldn't want to be involved in this like family drama, but even his presence would have been nice of him just to remain at the house. Not even that he had to partake in a conversation, so that he could make sure his wife was good, because she was really hurt.
What? So that's your thoughts about them?
Yep.
I told y'all in episode 1, episode 2 even. I said, watch them. I said, hey y'all, don't let this TV series pull y'all more apart than what we see. You get what I'm saying? I don't understand why an argument in the house will make him get in the car, go home, and get under the covers. You get what I'm saying? Maybe this is routine, and he's like, they always do this, and I don't want to be part of it. Maybe that, but stuff like that don't make me want to leave the house to like the point where I leave you, and then when you come find me, I'm in the bed. You get what I'm saying? Like, if anything, I'm coming in the house to pull you away, to be like, yo, don't be always inviting me to y'all family stuff and y'all hollering and stuff and things of that nature, because what's gonna happen is y'all never leave the hollering here. You go bring it back to our house and things like that, and now I gotta rub your back while we replay the scene. Y'all know how y'all women are. Replay the scene 8 times, 10 times, 18, 11 times, you know? So, like, I don't agree with him leaving, but, you know, maybe this is what they do, and he just like, yeah, I'm not really for the confrontation type of thing.
So Kesha and Caramel go out for coffee.
Yeah.
And Caramel was shocked by hearing Bubba say that his wife doesn't have to accept Kesha. Kesha says that, you know, he should have done what he was supposed to do, stood up and be a father. He says that he paid child support, but it's more than that. It's about spending time and being present as a father.
Yeah.
And she talks about how it would have been nice to have him around. She was playing basketball. He played basketball back in the day. He could have gave her some tips, been at her games, but he was not there for her.
Yeah.
Kesha doesn't think anything is going to change, and it's going to get thrown under the rug again. She did appreciate Nicole having her back, and they have checked on each other since the situation, and, you know, things are going well in their relationship.
Kesha, I would ask you the question, what is it that you want to change? Like, I know you saying that nothing's going to change, things going to get swept under the rug again. What is that thing that's getting swept under the rug? I need understanding.
Okay.
Because I think you have complete understanding what happened, and you can't change the past. You can't even change the present, honestly. So that's the only thing I would say to Kesha is, what is the thing that you want? What do you want out of this? Now that you know for a fact that Joy did not want you, now you know, you already knew your father didn't want you for like at least 7 years. You already knew that. So what is it that you want? What is it that, like, you think Kesha wants, Blair?
Full acceptance from her family.
Meaning
everyone.
from Joy and from Joy and
her father.
But it's not gonna happen. Like,
but that's what she wants. I don't think she wants to feel like the outsider anymore.
But she said she don't feel like an outsider, though.
Well, she said that she's not an outside child, but I think that she does feel like she's not fully accepted. And that's what she wants. I feel like she's kind of made that clear. But like you said, you can't change how these old people feel.
Yeah.
Even to this day, it's like they would prefer you not to be around. But that's something that, you know, she's in therapy. She's going to work through and all that type of stuff, which is fine. But that's what she wants.
Yeah, but I'm guessing the reason why I asked that is because it's not like she's estranged from her father. Like, whenever her father would come in or things like that, we see them greet each other and things like that from episode 1 going all the way to this episode. So I'm like, okay, so it's not like you just met your father and, like, y'all are estranged. You know Joy and things like that. So I'm like, I guess with me, or maybe how guys think, it's like, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. Now I know the cards that I'm dealt with. I just got to play them now. And you're not going to get... This is what full acceptance look like, in my opinion. So like, when you say she's looking for full acceptance, I'm like, to me, I'm like, you got it. You are basically, you know your sisters, you know your cousins, you are Braden. You get what I'm saying? Like, as in, like, you're all at the family events and things like that. And maybe it's just something that she personally feels. But I would question, or not question, but challenge, like, specifically, what do you want? Like,
but why isn't that enough?
Because people would say, we accepted you to the family. What is full acceptance? Like, because my thing is, to me, I'm like, they did accept you to the family. They said you are a Braden. So what is full acceptance? What does that look like? Does, like, that look like Joy apologizing? Does that look like Bubba apologizing? And I'm like
making amends with her. But the thing is, we know that's not going to happen, but she can still want that. It should still be a feeling of just basically like, it would be nice if my dad could have a conversation with me and apologize for not wanting me around, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Quita and Misha are going to go to Nicole's house. They chat with Kesha. Kesha's going to be coming to the pitch for the build to rent for the land. Nicole ended up putting herself in Kesha's shoes, and she wishes the family would be more mindful of Kesha and her feelings.
Let's start right there. Nicole, finally, you did it. finally you put yourself in someone else's shoes. You get what I'm saying? But that's all.
So Quita and Misha felt the wall come down in that moment between Kesha and Kesha and Nicole. And Quita asked, how do you feel about your parents, perspective or stances in the conversation? And Nicole said that her dad was just caught off guard and he just felt attacked. So Quita says, well, Monet tried to protect y'all's mom, but she should have let Aunt Joy speak, or Aunt Jackie speak. And Nicole says that, Joy, their mom. And Nicole says that it should have been a convo between them and not between us. Like, she felt like as the children in the situation, they shouldn't have been there. But when leaving, Misha apologized to Joy, and Nicole ended up hugging her Aunt Jackie. Misha, before we move on to the other stuff about the rodeo roundup, I just had a few comments about what was said as far as like Quita is asking her, like, how do you feel about what your parents said? And Nicole's like, I just think my dad was caught off guard. That's not what we're asking. I think Nicole like tries so carefully not to call her parents out on their BS. And I don't think it's a bad thing if you're like, I don't agree with what my dad said. Like, if you're going to be with a man, you should accept their child. If that's something, that's part of your family. And I don't know why that's so hard for Nicole and Monet to verbalize. Like, it's like if they do that, then they're condemning their parents in some type of way. You can disagree with what your parents say. So that really like flips it on my head for me. Maybe I feel like this family, they consider a lot of things disrespect. So maybe that's disrespecting their family. I don't know. So moving on. Oh, did you have anything? Okay. So Misha asked for clarification about Nicole's conversation with Granny about the rodeo roundup. And Misha asked, like, are you on the side of the G2s? And Nicole says, Granny's going to do what Granny's going to do. But she is on board for the pitch. She wants to push the family forward, but she is always mindful of Granny. Misha fills Nicole in on the fact that the build to sell numbers really weren't numbering. It wasn't going to be profitable. So the hybrid is also not the way to go. They are going to kind of be focusing in on the build to rent model.
What are your thoughts?
I think it was important for Misha to have that conversation with Nicole, just to be like, where do you stand? Because you went to talk to Granny kind of behind our backs. So it's like, what is your motive? What are you actually doing? And for Nicole to just kind of lay it out there the way that she did, now we know where she stands. So
yeah, to sabotage. That's listen, I think, because I think it got to be something as specific as, are you on the side of the G2s for this? Hey, I'm just looking out for Granny. I'm not. So for you to say you're looking out for Granny, you're alluding that I'm not. That basically, like, I'm not on the side of Granny either. So, like, that doesn't, for one, answer the question what side you on. You basically like, I'm gonna be there for the pitch because you want to know things, not because you want to participate in the pitch to pitch. You just want to be part of the audience so you can know what's going on. But at the end of the day, she's not on the side of the G2s. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just being honest. She's not on the side of the G2s of what to do with the land. To her, I don't think she even cares what happens to that land, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, I don't think Nicole's trying to sabotage anything. I think that she really is trying to make sure that Granny does what Granny wants to do and that she doesn't feel pressured by anybody to make any type of decisions. I think she's just more so like being protective of her grandmother and the fact that we should respect her wishes, whatever they are. So I don't look at it as like a sabotage type of situation, but she's just kind of like, I get, Misha, you have what you want to sell and your pitch, and you want to have Granny like come to your side and believe what you want to think or whatever the case may be. But I can understand Nicole's just like, Misha, like, I hear you, but don't stress Granny out, So
I don't get that, because who is Granny's realtor again? That's Aunt Jackie, who is basically Nikki, Aunt Nikki, right? Nikki is basically her right hand man for Granny and things like that. That's her realtor. Number two, in no episodes all the way up to this point did Granny ever need defending. Granny is very strong. She's strong-willed. She's going to do whatever she wants to do. So I think to basically try to, what's the word? I don't want to say lie, but to basically shape it as, look, I'm just making sure that no one pushed Granny over, that like she don't want to do anything that like she don't want to do. That never been the case.
Well, see, I view it that way because I can I can relate to Nicole in that way of wanting to protect your elder family members and making sure that they're not getting run over. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can see that being the case. Even if the person may not need it, I'm still going to have that sentiment of looking out for you. Even if Aunt Nikki's in the picture and she's your realtor, I'm still your granddaughter and I'm still going to be making sure like you're good. So I think more than one person can have that intention
while
for Granny.
Pitching another idea out behind Misha's back.
We just disagree.
No, I'm not trying to disagree or trying to switch you over to my side. I'm just saying all of this, you gonna let Granny do whatever she wants to do. But,
I think that Nicole...
But Nicole pitched a whole nother idea.
But I don't think it was a whole nother idea. I think she was trying to do it in a way to where they could meet in the middle. To where
behind
they could have...
Misha's back.
To where they can talk about the rents and also like buy, so maybe everyone could be happy in the situation. So that's how I felt about it. So Quita meets with her cousin Travis. He wants to buy a duplex. She's showing him around so he can live in one part of the home and rent out the other side. And it's looking like that might be something that he wants to choose to do.
Okay.
Nicole and Monet check out $1 million home. The seller wants to sell it for $4 million, and they're pretty much in competition to be the agents in the brokerage to sell. So, they're kind of just laying it on of basically like, we did our studies about the house. We know a lot about it, and we would be the great company for you guys to sell the house at asking. So they do have a little conversation when they get ready to head out about the pitch. And Monet is talking about she's a bit nervous because she hasn't seen everyone since the crawfish boil. She didn't like Quita saying that she was a baby when everything was going on. Nicole and Monet, feel like they weren't sheltered from the situation, that they have full understanding of what was going on.
You don't have full understanding of what's going on. And that's the ignorance of you being the youngest of the bunch, is that you think you know everything, but you don't. Right? You wasn't there, right? You wasn't there for the Joy and Bubba conversation. Nobody was there for that, right? Number two, you wasn't there when Nicole was there, right? And you wasn't there when the aunts was bringing Kesha over there, because Nicole and Kesha are basically the same age. So all this time you wasn't there. Like this is the definition of you think you know, but you really have no idea. So like it's just the ignorance. And basically she rubbed me the wrong way. Out of everybody this episode, she rubbed me the wrong way more than Bubba did. Because I accepted Bubba for the deadbeat dad that he was and things of that nature. But Monet, if this supposed to be your sister, right? And y'all accepted her, right? Why you have this all of a sudden when the issue is brought up? It's almost as if you have this information and you just can't wait for this conversation to basically defend your mom to a T. And I'm like, your mother don't need defending. She, for one, everybody here been family longer than you've been family with anybody here. So you don't, your voice really adds nothing to the conversation.
So it's the day of the pitch.
Yeah.
Everyone is arriving. Nicole and Kesha, have been talking a lot more, and the wall has been coming down between them. Quita is still annoyed by Monet.
Okay.
Oscarine arrives, looking fine, looking great, and the Sheltons do the presentation for the pitch. So it would take $1 million to invest to create the build to rent model, and Aunt Cheryl leans over to Granny and asks her, so what you thinking? You trying to sell or where's your head at right now? And Granny's saying that she still wants to sell. So she's like, this was cute. I'm going to sell the land.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where Granny's at.
What are your thoughts overall on the episode?
It was a good episode. I think, it's really tough to see a family arguing like that. But I think that if people can stand by what's right and what is moral, then I think that they can kind of, how do I say it? Joy and Bubba, they're going to be in their own silo, in their bubble of what they wish the situation would have been. But as far as everybody else, like Nicole, Monet, all that type of stuff, y'all should stick by what's right. And it's not right for a father to just decide not to be in his child's life. And it's not right for the child to not be able to go to her daddy's house because the daddy and his wife don't want to be bothered with her. And if they could just stick by what's right, what's good, what's moral, then I feel like there would be a lot less arguing, because people know that's messed up. But at the same time, you can still love and care for your parents, but you can say that that was messed up and Kesha should not have been put in that situation. So
yeah, I think to want anything more from Joy and Bubba, you're basically wishing on a star. They're old. They're in their 70s. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things to where, like Bubba even said out of his mouth, he said, "What can you tell me? I'm 74 years old. Basically, I lived a life. I lived double your life, basically." So to him, he's just stuck in his ways. I think for Kesha's sake, she just need to continue to build on the relationship she had with her aunts, with her sisters, accept her parents for what they are, what they're not, at least her father and her stepmom at that. And it's just like keep on being resilient and keep on building. So you don't have to basically pass on your trauma to somebody else, to like your kids and things like that. That's one thing Kesha touched on in this episode about basically what she been through. She want to make sure her son never go through that. And that's actually how you make your situation better, by making sure that like whatever you went through, it doesn't keep on going down the generation and stuff like that. So, I'm happy for Kesha. I'm happy for Nicole. And like I said, Granny's going to do whatever Granny's going to do. Right. I think Misha already know that this pitch is a bad idea because the numbers ain't numbering, but she came too far to turn around. No. So she's basically just going to be like, hey, listen, somebody in our family is going to see the return. We may not. But I think what she wanted, and based on the numbers that they basically said, y'all got to pay this amount within 5 years of each other. And they like, I would have been like, I'm out. I actually would have got up in the middle of the pitch and be like, yeah, I'm out. But we will see. It says to be continued. So we will see next week what happens and basically how the family going on with the pitch and with Bubba and everybody. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.
Bye.